For me personally, grind-by-weight grinders are one of the most exciting technologies to come into our industry for quite some time. From a barista's perspective, I find the weighing of coffee shots, the checking of the dose weight, a clunky, awkward, cumbersome process, something I could really do without. I could better use my time. And these grinders take away that completely. They really do add a degree of efficiency to service that we haven't really had before. But to really understand the power of these grinders, you need to understand a little bit about the previous incarnation where there was a timed dose, and understanding the Achilles heel of that makes you appreciate why these grinders are so powerful. In the past, our on-demand grinders have worked on a timed dose. So basically the grinder will run for a set number of seconds and that will deliver a set dose of coffee. And the barista's job was to make sure that that timed dose gave the required amount. Say for example, 18 grams of coffee. Now one of the problems with this approach is that some of the grinders weren't as accurate as we would like them to be. Generally speaking, the more you spent, the more accurate the grinder would be, the less you spent, the less accurate. And sometimes you could find that your dose of coffee was out by a gram and a half, in the worst case scenarios, 2 grams. And that is significant. It's significant for 2 reasons. First of all, the dose is the bedrock of making a great cup of coffee. If your dose isn't accurate, then the rest of the coffee making process is affected by that. But more importantly, it often comes down to cost. I found so many coffee shops who were dosing way more coffee than they needed because staff weren't regularly checking that dose. They weren't getting scales out to make sure the grinder was still doing what it was set up to do. And 2, 3, sometimes 4 grams of coffee more for every coffee served. It was just costing people so much money. Even where you found a coffee shop who were checking the dose, sometimes they didn't understand the impact of changing a grind setting. When you make a coarser adjustment to a grinder, it's easier for the grinder to grind coffee to a coarser setting, so over a given time, it dispenses more coffee. Similarly, when you make a finer adjustment to a grinder, it takes longer to grind, so therefore in a set or a given time frame, you'll get less coffee out. That means if staff were regularly making coarser and finer adjustments, they also had to check that the dose stayed consistent and increase or decrease the time accordingly. Now during a busy service, that can be sometimes really challenging, and often it can involve either a wastage of coffee or it can slow down that really important efficiency. Grind-by-weight grinders take that out of the equation completely. They weigh the dose for you, so no matter what you do, whether you go finer or whether you go coarser, you're always going to get that set amount of coffee in that portafilter. If you're a coffee shop owner, I would thoroughly recommend you take a look at these grinders and at least get them on your wish list. They should be on the shopping list of every single coffee shop. If you've got any thoughts, comments or questions about this or any other piece of kit in our industry, please feel free to get in touch. If you've got an opinion, I'm sure I'll respond. In the meantime, have a great day. Thanks for watching.